Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here today with you for this nice short interview. My name is Alina Ploai. I'm a professor within the Center of European Studies. And I teach this unit for this course related to ENPI and ENI programs. And I'm very, very happy to be here. And as I presented myself previously, I also work not only as a professor for the Center of European Studies, where I teach also for 2 master programs, but also I'm a counselor in the managing authority and in the Ministry of Development, Public Works and Administration. And I have more than more or less 16 years of experience now in managing not only the EU funds related to cross-border cooperation mainly, but also the pre-accession funds. And today I'm very, very honored and happy to have besides me for this interview, Miss Eugenia Stanciu, shortly Jenna. Jenna is a very, very experienced professional that is working for more than 6 years now in the managing authority for the European Neighbourhood and Partnership Instrument and European Neighbourhood Instrument Program Black Sea Basin. And she also is been also my friend for more than 16 years already, because we also managed at one time of our professional careers also the pre-accession funds, and back then we tried to absorb the FAR funds. So Jenna, thank you for being here today, and I welcome you to share your views, your experience about the work of within a managing authority. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation. Please.
Hello, Alina. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm pleased and honored to be here to this interview. I do hope that my experience will be of help and will provide useful information for those interested. I will start by briefly presenting my experience. So for more than or around 25 years, I've been working with and been involved in managing different projects or programs, pre-accession and post-accession European funds, as well as bilateral programs. Indeed, for the last 6 years, I've been working with the Ministry of Development, Public Works and Administration, Romanian Ministry of Development, managing authority for Black Sea Basin. Throughout the career, I've been involved also in the private sector, not just public sector, also in private sector, working as independent consultant. And throughout all this period, I had the chance to be involved in various stages of project or program implementation. So starting with a programming process, designing the program, then elaboration of an application, assessment of an application, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. So
great. You have both sides image, not only from the managing authority side, but also from the consultancy side, the beneficiary side, more or less, because as we know, the consultants are trying to help the beneficiary to first, start and to try to be to have enough courage, to apply for a new project. So yes, it's indeed, and we are happy to have here not only for this interview today, but also in our day-to-day professional environment, very good professional and that also knows how to to interpret all the procedures and the laws and because as I like to say, we are trying to be better each day, and that this is why we are not only, you know, stick to all the common rules and say, okay, we have to do this and that, but also to try to be flexible in our activities and try to be even better from each programming period to another. Okay, and
yes, so, yeah, indeed, the experience that I gathered from, I gained from working as a beneficiary and in the private sector really supported and helped me in better understanding the needs of the beneficiaries. So yes, it's very important.
Yes, I'm sure about that, as I was also a controller, you know, because I was working also in the first level control at one point of my career, you know, and I understand the views also of the personnel that performs the control for us. So I try, you know, to see also all the sides and to understand and, you know, to try to collaborate with all the levels that we have in the description of the control and management system of one program. Can you tell me some words about the ENPI Black Sea Basin and the ENI Black Sea Basin now? Some words regarding the implementation or evolution of the programs?
Yes, I can, of course. For ENPI program, I was briefly involved, but I can tell you that it was a successful program. Beneficiaries really appreciated the program and the way it was implemented. We had around 62, no, we had 62 projects, not around. There were 2 calls for proposals, and all of them have been implemented, finalized, the final report submitted, and the program now it is closed.
And just for our persons that will see this interview, can you tell them how many countries are involved in the Black Sea Basin, because it's a huge program and the eligible area is huge, and that makes this program even more difficult.
Yes, the eligible. Exactly. Perhaps, I should have started with this to mention that indeed it is a program which involves 8 countries with different culture, with different languages, totally different languages.
Needs. With different
needs, exactly. We have as a partner in participating countries, Armenia, Bulgaria, Georgia, Greece, Republic of Moldova, Romania, Ukraine, and Turkey.
Yes, so a lot of programs, not only member states, but also partner states, and with different level of economic development and social development.
Negotiation with the European Union and so on. So yes, very challenging program.
And for the ENI program, something is different regarding the eligible area of the program. Is there any other differences between ENPI program and ENI program regarding the eligible area of the program? Were there any modifications between the 2 programming periods, or the eligible area is the same?
Is the same previously. Alina?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, it's the same for this ENI program. We started, we had already 2 calls for proposals, and we had the first one 2 years ago, and now we have selected 56 projects, of which 55 are contracted, and the last one will be contracted soon.
So you are in a well-advanced stage. Perfect. Thank you very much, Jenna.
Yes, you're welcome indeed. Yeah, and we are working in different, depending on the stage of implementation of the program. We of course we prepare different documents. I'm involved I was involved in also in the evaluation, in the assessment and selection of the projects, and
And
yes,
you
we
know
are
all
in a
the
quite
sides.
advanced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I will address you three, let's say, more specific questions where I will want a short answer from your side. So from the point of view of your task or your colleague's task within the managing authority, which do you consider as most important elements to be considered when an institution or even a natural persons decides to apply for the ENPI, formerly called, or ENI as it is called right now, or ENPCBC program as it will be named in the post-2020 period. Which do you consider, if one of our students decides to become a future project beneficiary, which will be your, let's say, kind of remarks or I don't know, support to help very, very briefly? Thank you.
Yes, first of all, I think it's very important to be aware of the program requirements, namely to understand what the program is about, and when preparing an application to ensure that the cross-border added value is reflected in that project, to understand the needs of the target group, to understand the challenges of the region. Very important also it is to develop a solid partnership, to be very careful because it is a program which involves, which implies working in partnership. This is a key condition. Yeah, working in partnership, implementing the project in partnership. So it's very important to know your partner, to know the financial and professional capacity, to trust the partner. This is very important. Then, of course, as I said, to understand, it's not a specific order, but to understand the needs and the project reflect the needs of the target group. It's important to also to know where from to ask for support, because the institutions, the managing authority or the technical secretariat of a program is there to help. There are officers which can provide additional support and answers in project preparation.
So you advise everybody not to be afraid to send the questions, because every structure is here in the benefit of any potential beneficiary, and you are here to help. And not only to know and understand the guidelines of applicants, which is the Bible of each call for proposal, but actually if they feel that they don't understand something, if they feel that they are missing some information, it is better to ask you, the managing authority, the joint technical secretariat, or the national authority, if it's a case, or other bodies that are involved in the structure of the program. Okay,
absolutely, because the information may be clear for us, but maybe the information is not that clear, and they can absolutely ask for support. And one more aspect which I would like to emphasize is to the beneficiaries to assess from the beginning all the risks and to be very realistic about the risks. As you can see, the situation now, there were projects which of course, you cannot anticipate risk as it was with the pandemic situation. But apart from that, this is, we hope, isolated situation. But the risk and identifying the mitigation measures is very important.
Yes, and I consider also for the beneficiary it's very important to see the time as an enemy, because in fact, if you don't appreciate, related to the how long your activity will take, how long the public procurement procedures in the Framework 1 project will be, how long they will take, whether they will be, some complaints or even somebody, that will project procurement procedure will be cancelled or something like this. So there are risks, as you mentioned, that could be, if you have a little bit of previous experience, could be considered from the very beginning, because, when you don't have time, also as the managing authority have time as a biggest enemy, because we have that targets of absorption, the commitment targets and other sort of targets imposed by the European Commission. And we have to make sure that we will manage to implement the project and have a good absorption rate in that specific period of time allocated for each, I don't know how to say, each target. Okay,
exactly.
Now I just want, because it's come somehow related to this question, which will be your piece of advice for any new beneficiary that decides to apply for an ENPI or ENI project, how to you can link it with how to avoid errors, or how to, what are the best practices to be performed, or any specific one piece of advice, just one single piece of advice that you can share for any potential beneficiary, or even for a beneficiary right now. An inside tip.
One is difficult because there are several, and
yes, but one, stick to one, because we don't have time.
Okay, to ensure a good planning, and we come back to what I said previously, when identifying the risk, exactly time, it may become an issue. To be realistic about planning, to link the activities with a budget, and to have a realistic cash flow, and a procurement plan. Yes, and of course, good communication among the partners. There were several advices.
It's enough. You are like the mother of the managing authority, so you can.
Not exactly,
you provided a lot of info for our potential beneficiaries, and I hope that they will understand that it's in the benefit of anyone to know, because this maybe at first may sound simple, just to implement a new fund project, but it's not that simple, because we have to make sure that we respect not only the eligibility rule, the public procurement rules, other specific rules imposed by the national law in that field of activity. So we have a lot of rules to respect, and it's not that easy just to spend some EU money and that's it. So that is why it's not very, very easy. And my last question, it's somehow related to not respecting the rules. Usually, which are, let's say, the common errors, the common mistakes that you could observe during these years that you have already a lot of years of implementation and managing the ENI program, Black Sea Basin, which let's say one or two common mistakes or errors that the beneficiaries are usually performing, or potential beneficiaries, if they have these errors in the assessment phase and they are not going to be selected, and so they are not going to be beneficiaries after all.
Yes, the errors come from either from in different moments, as you said, as potential beneficiary when designing the project, or as beneficiary when implementing the project. The errors come when reporting, when preparing, coming back to the application, when preparing the budget, the application, but the errors of not communicating among partners. But all these come from, I would say, the source of these errors is the fact that we come back to the time. Time is limited when launching a call. There are several documents to be read, to be understood, and people, potential applicants or beneficiaries do not have time. We are realistic about this, but on the other side, we try to provide as many information and to come to support them as much as we can with probably too many documents and too many information. And the cause is that they have so many information to absorb and they don't have time. And that's why, because they don't have time, they don't read carefully these documents. So they miss very important aspects, which sometimes, and in most cases, the information is there and sometimes they do not, because of the time, because they are in a rush to implement, or to prepare the application or to implement it, and they miss the information which is there. They don't read it, and they make mistakes, either in reporting or in using the funds, or in being sure that the expenditures that they make is eligible, or things like that. So,
and I can give them, let's say, a piece of advice for avoiding this. The things that you said is even to prepare well in advance, because every managing authority usually publish for consultation all these documents, like guideline for applicants or any other documents that are going to be used by the beneficiaries. And I think also from that moment, it is better for them to be involved, to read them in the face of the consultation, to provide you or other managing authorities the input, their comments, because they are there in the real life and they know the best what the needs are for themselves, and to come with a feedback, with a real feedback. And this is how they will already know the information, or most of the information that you say. They are usually, let's say, missing, or something happens because of the lack of time. So they can be prepared well in advance in these phases of the public consultations.
This is a very good suggestion. Yes, they can learn, and they can also give us an early signal. They can signal very early about missing information from the guidelines. So maybe aspects which can be solved before the launch of the call, and which in fact will support them during the preparation and implementation.
Yes, yeah. So it will be an active involvement is to be wanted for.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Jenna, for your time,
welcome.
Your precious time. I know that
you're welcome indeed. Thank you. No.
Thank you a lot, and I wish you all the best in the future programming period, and good luck with the new program and with this program right now that you have still to close, and I hope the absorption rate will be at least 99% for this current program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
and good luck to you and your students. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.